as it comes to Marvel Studios, they made a decision just a couple days ago, and it was a really quick one to get rid of Jonathan after the verdict. However, I want to just assess their past. For 18 movies, they had all white leads until the Black Panther. That doesn't look good. However, this movie was a hit, and it felt like they were in support of him. I feel that Infinity War and Endgame had scenes that were changed, maybe even some theme music introduced. I think that at Endgame, when Captain America turns around, it was supposed to be the Falcon, who was the first one he sees, but instead he sees Black Panther, and he sees his sister and Denai Guerrera. I'd have preferred if it was just Black Panther. The enemy of representation is quantity. If you really want to highlight an important character, you do just him, okay? But they did that, and I think that was a new add-on. I could see how skinnier the Chadwick was during that time. We know now that how deep into the cancer he was at that point in time when they did reshoots for that movie. Okay, 18 movies. I don't view these guys as these progressive folk. Now, we could say that Ike Perlmutter was part of Marvel, and now that the chief creative officer was Kevin Feige, things changed and he wanted to be more progressive. Cool. Does he know how to do empowerment? As I've complained about the way that they use female empowerment, not understanding how to do it by stuffing 3 female heroes into one movie, they are not at all doing anything. The enemy of representation is quantity. Having Captain Marvel not have a sequel called Captain Marvel 2 versus the Kree or whatever the subtitle would be, now distances herself from the titled heroes. Ant-Man got 3 movies called Ant-Man. Doctor Strange gets 2 films. Spider-Man got 3, he'll get a 4th. Thor got 4. Iron Man gets 1, 2, 3. There's a difference there when you try to say you're doing empowerment for women. But let's get to black characters. Monica Rambeau, I can't say she's had a solo movie. She's been a guest appearancing in a TV show, guested in a couple of the Captain Marvel movies. I don't look at them as, wow, these guys are really pushing things forward at all. Nick Fury doesn't have his own movie. His show was whack, called Secret Invasion, not called Nick Fury. He wasn't the titled character there. There's a lot of trash that they've been doing, okay? So, I never viewed them as these progressive guys. With the Blade script being rewritten, and that never happens for any of the other heroes, I wonder what the difference is between Mahershala Ali and some of the other leads. I see a lot of mismanagement happening on Marvel when it comes to some of these black characters. Who am I forgetting? Anthony Mackie plays Sam Wilson. Now they're trying to say, look, Falcon goes by Captain America now. He's being elevated. That is what they think. They think it's a promotion. I view it as they're telling you that the word Falcon and the superhero title and moniker of Falcon isn't worthy of a title movie. However, when we slap the skin of some other characters, put the branding of this other guy on Sam Wilson, now you see kids, when you act white, you are good enough for this movie. And just because the movie is called Captain America, which isn't his moniker that he owns and that he's most recognized for is Falcon. And we are playing dumb if we believe I could come on a video and talk about Cap and we're thinking about Sam Wilson Falcon. Even though he's going to get his title of the movie, a lot of the characters in here, Hulk, there's going to be Thunderbolt Ross, there's going to be so many additional characters in his own movie, his first movie that he's supposed to be leading, that it gets to show you that these guys don't really care about uplifting, do they? Would they really, if they really cared about uplifting a superhero with a melanated skin tone, we would have gotten a second Black Panther movie. But instead, we would have got a second The Black Panther movie. We had one, and then they decided to kill the character, modeling after the death of the real-life actor, thinking that they're doing it in honor of him. However, if you think about what he did, Chadwick Boseman played the greatest black character that's ever happened that debuted in this comic book here. This guy here is not Chadwick Boseman. He's not. He's a different guy, and he's really important, and he's worth having perennially. Don't ever, in the name of Chadwick Boseman, try to pretend that what you did honored him. No. Killing this character is the most anti-black. It's like you were ashamed of how fucking progressive the first movie was and how much money it was. It was very weird. It was an emotional reaction. I'll give them that. But they have since doubled down on it. They are aware that there are fans who are saying you should have recast T'Challa, and they decided not to do it. And it feels like they're going to continue down that path. I do not celebrate the T'Child. I do not recognize that as a recast. The best possible thing to do is to give that man his dad back. And it would promote positive family traits. There's a lot of good that can come from that. And let's just pretend they do some time skip stuff where that child now is older. Look, his name is also T'Challa, guys. His name's also T'Challa. He's from Wakanda. Yeah, guys. You got your Black Panther. There it is. Well, that character that you just invented a couple years ago doesn't have the long-lasting effects of this. They'll never, 20 years from now, 30 years from now, when Marvel reboots and they have a brand new film universe, they're never going to say, you know what we should do? T'Child. Let's just skip on T'Challa. Let's just do the T'Child, right? Haitian, name is Toussaint, the son of Nakia, and yeah, let's do all that. They'll never happen. So all these finite resources, which are rare that ever go to black characters, will go to a temporary representation. Big problem. Do I view these guys as like progressive, positive, life-changing? No. Maybe they think they are, but they're not. What they did here with the verdict, with the reaction of firing Jonathan Majors after the verdict, was so weird because they were doing so well. I congratulated these guys, or at least I didn't shit on them when Jonathan Majors was initially charged and arrested, not getting rid of him. They said they wanted to wait, and I said, good, smart idea. Month after month, update after update. They dropped him here. There's a protective order against him. There's this media posting about that. No matter what happened, they didn't do anything until the judge did something unprecedented, because it was agreed upon before the trial that if evidence was unsealed, it would risk his right to a fair trial. And instead, we were going to hold it off and it's going to be sealed. Instead, he unsealed it before the verdict came out. It was public knowledge. You could see Jonathan pushing her away from him, or as people want to interpret it, recklessly assaulted her. Even though the verdict of the driver says that she was doing everything, Jonathan was trying to get rid of her. He said, leave me alone. You know, these are words that he said. The driver said these things, and he could speak in English, but the judge wanted that Urdu translator, so maybe the impact of these words would go lost on them. Anyways, reckless assault. So that video is out there. Marvel saw it. Marvel, if you guys have any sort of like, I don't know, morality, then what you would have saw was that man hit that woman, push her, and decided at that moment in time, right then and there, that is too much. Marvel will not stand for that. That you would have got rid of him then, like 3 days before the verdict, when all that information and all that video was there. If you guys had bones in your spirits, if you guys had a heart, and if you guys had any sort of moral clause, morality, you would have definitely got rid of him, instead of being like, oh, we're just gonna wait for the verdict. You know, you're just waiting on a verdict. All you're reacting to is a jury of 6. So if those jury of 6 people decided that it wasn't a reckless assault or harassment, which was the 2 charges, not intentional assault, not aggravated assault, not aggravated harassment, not strangulation like he was charged with, which I hope you've all seen the video by now. If not, go watch my short. But because he was guilty of reckless assault based on a jury of 6, if they would have said no, he was not guilty, you'd have kept him, even with that video out? Okay, so you guys don't have morals. You have procedures. Good to know, Marvel. I'll close it like that. I'll repeat that point. You don't have morals. You have procedures. You got protocols. You've got do's and don'ts. You plan on outcomes. You value the opinion of 6 strangers as opposed to what your eyes have saw. Because I don't believe you got rid of Jonathan Majors because you saw that video of him pushing her in the car as she popped up over and over again. Go watch her blonde hair that you can see her resurfacing and getting back in his personal space. Guys, how do you push someone unless they're next to you? If you're standing still, how do you keep pushing somebody who on your side of the car, which you got out of, on your side, she's still there on your side of the car. She got out, chased them out. So that's a guy was trying to get away, clear by the evidence that you see of him running right afterwards, clear by the next time they return to the car, she's still pursuing him. But we're going to pretend for that little moment in time right there. You see that? That's Jonathan being recklessly assaultive. No, he was defending himself from an attack. If he was being reckless, I would imagine more strikes would be in there, some kicking, some recklessness. Pushing somebody away from you who was attacking you, according to a testimony of her own, as she admits to snatching his phone, admits to hitting him. We see pictures of his face with a scratch there. We see the scratch on his arm. He wasn't this unscathed person. We listen to what the driver says and how he characterized the fight of her being the aggressor. So, according to all that, but no. In that one fleeting moment, because that motion camera, I guess, starts recording just as he's picking her up and putting her in there, makes it look like he's bad. I'm calling it a motion camera. I don't know. For all I know, the DA cut it right there so that it looks incriminating and they wouldn't show you how they got out the car first. I think it's a motion camera. Marvel don't have no morals. If you had morals, that video would have came out, and in 1 hour you would have got rid of them. I'm chill. Monger, I'm out. Go check out Planet Fanatics. Go check out ssjk.sanctum. 2 videos right there.